24. Remember to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe for more. So I went to go see the new Power Rangers movie today, and I can't be as critical as I usually am with certain materials, like with video games, for example, because I couldn't leave me being a fan at the door. I took it with me in the movie theater. I couldn't separate the fan and the critic, because that's being a Power Rangers fan is such a huge part of me. I just couldn't do it, so don't blame me if I'm not too critical of the movie. Now, I really did love the movie. I love the movie. It was great because for starters, the Power Rangers cast, the 5 teenagers that are playing them, or that are cast as the Power Rangers, I could believe they were Power Rangers. I could believe that these are teenagers with attitudes, even though they didn't say that ever in the movie. I can believe that they were a team because they had off-screen rapport and on-screen rapport. If you look at some of the interviews online, they seem like they're friends. Except for Jason. Jason is kind of like the odd one out in the interview that I'm referring to. But they seem like a team on-screen and off-screen, and that could and as friends, off-screen and on-screen, and that led me to believe, when I was watching the movie, that they were a team and that they could be the Power Rangers. So there's no doubt in my mind that if you're gonna go see this movie, and if you're a fan of the Power Rangers, you will enjoy the movie because they seem like they are the Power Rangers. And most importantly, I do have to say this before, anything else. The movie takes a more realistic tone than it did with the TV show. The TV show is kind of rooted in kind of a goofiness that even as a kid you can kind of admit, this is kind of ridiculous. In the movie they take themselves seriously. The Rangers themselves all have internal problems that they have to deal with. The Rangers are not great people. They are misfits. They are deviants. They are in Saturday school like the Breakfast Club. Speaking of which, there's I think 2 specific moments in the movie where you see the teenagers, the Power Rangers, have these scenes like that were in the Breakfast Club where they come together and they're trying to relate with one another. And the only way that they can relate and sympathize with one another is if they share why they're in the situations that they're in or why they act this way. And it leads to some very great character development with Billy, with Jason, with the Yellow Ranger, I forgot her name, and also the Black Ranger. There's some pretty great character development with all of the Rangers. And it's because of those scenes. Now, and it's also because they take the series more realistic. I mean, Zordon, for example, goes through some pretty heavy character development from the opening scene that he's in to the final scene. Where they finally defeat Rita. He goes from, kind of being an asshole to being the Zordon in the TV show, and it's great. And Rita's an actual villain. She's not that character that's screaming and yelling,
"Ah! After 10,000 years, I'm free! It's time to conquer Earth!"
She's a realistic villain that is evil, and that you can believe that she's evil because she taunts the Rangers constantly, and she beats the Rangers over and over and over again, and you're starting to think during the movie, even though as a Power Rangers fan you know that they will win, you're starting to think, holy shit, a lot of really bad stuff has happened. Rita has won like 3-4 times in the movie. Can the Rangers actually do it? And of course they do it. Of course they beat Rita. But the whole performance that Rita's performance was great. Zordon's performance was great. Alpha, by the way, Alpha was great. I love how they put in his catchphrase into the movie. It was great, and it wasn't as annoying as it. I wouldn't say it's annoying. It wasn't as, I would say, predictable and as annoying as it was in the 90s TV show, and even after like the 90s TV show, but with Zeo, with Turbo, and I think with Space, with the Power Rangers in Space, it wasn't as predictable as all of those series. It was kind of unique and kind of rare to hear him to do his catchphrase, and I did appreciate that revamp and renewal of his catchphrase. But either way you slice it, this is a great movie. This is a great movie that you should see if you're a Power Rangers fan. If you're not, you'll be a little bit lukewarm to it, but you should go see it if you are a Power Rangers fan. I guarantee you will. You will like it. There's this constant argument that people that don't really, appreciate the show as much as Power Rangers fans do. They're like, well, why don't they just start off in the Megazord and then crush the putties, right? Fair argument. It's explained in the movie. It's explained why Rita's on Earth. I'll get into that in a second. It's also explained, why she has a green power coin. It's explained why Zordon is this flotating head in the screen. It explains all that. And it also explains why the Power Rangers, and it's a little bit glossed over, but it is explained in the movie, why the Power Rangers don't use the Megazords to fight the putties, even though they use the Megazords to fight the putties. And it's so great at describing the universe that I do have to say, or I do have to talk about some things that are spoilers, but they're light spoilers that, as Power Rangers fans, you will appreciate. It'll only be 3, but the first one is that Tommy and Kimberly, the original actors, are in the movie. But they're but it's cameos, and it's like that, like a couple of frames that are in the movie. And what their cameos are is that after, they form the Megazord and they beat Rita, Kimberly and Tommy are taking pictures of the Megazord, and they're hidden in the crowd so intelligently. They're hidden in the crowd. You miss them almost, because the movie goes, from them taking pictures back to the frame of the Megazord, back to them taking pictures, back to the frame. It's so close to almost missing them, and you have to really, really look, and you have to see, because Tommy doesn't have his long hair. His hair looks really great, and Kimberly is a little bit aged, but they are in the movie. Also, post-credit scene, Tommy's in the movie. Tommy Oliver, the character, the Green Ranger, is in the movie. Now, it's at the end of the movie. Again, the Power Rangers, they are misfits, they are deviants, they are outcasts, and they are in Saturday school. So the teacher that's monitoring Saturday school, he's roll calling, and he stops by Tommy Oliver's name, and it cuts to a frame of a jacket of a dragon, by the way, a green jacket of a dragon that's on a chair but doesn't have a person in it, and it kind of does a Ken's burn effect on the chair, and it's teasing another movie, which there have been reportedly rumors that there will be 6 movies, but it does tease that Tommy may be in the next movie. And there was so much room and animosity towards, in the group, because the Power Rangers, they don't accept, Jason as their leader automatically. He has to kind of bring them together, and he has to earn the right of being the Red Ranger. So there's a lot of feuds between him and a lot of other Rangers, not just with Billy and the Black Ranger sometimes, but also with the Yellow and the Pink Ranger. He fights with everybody trying to rein in the power of the Power Rangers. And by the way, the movie is kind of carried between, Billy and Jason, and you have to believe that Billy and Jason, again, have this rapport, they have this friendship that brings in the Power Rangers, and kind of, Jason is the brain of the team, but Billy is the soul. Billy's the heart, and you start to believe, okay, this team can kind of work when you start to see the interaction that Billy has with the team. Now, if you are a fan of the series, you'll know that there are multiple series besides the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Like, for instance, Zeo is about the Power Rangers and them having, these crystals that give them new power. And in this movie, the Zeo crystals are in the movie. And I love how they use the lore from the television show, or from the TV show, to explain the lore in the movie, even though the lore in the TV show was a little bit ridiculous. And they did such a great job of explaining why the Zeo crystals are there, because the Zeo crystals are just power. They're power that can destroy planets. and Rita wants that power to destroy planets, to take over the universe. And the Power Rangers, they have to stop them. And this is why, you can kind of predict, okay, they may do another Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, but then they'll move on to Zeo. Or Zeo will be the next, well, yeah, because of the Green Ranger, they will do another Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. Then they might move on to Zeo, then to Turbo, then to Space. It's great to see that they're already kind of trying to tie in characters and plot points for future movies in very, very great and detailed ways. Now, finally, at the end of the movie, there is this little teaser that Rita gives the audience, and the Power Rangers, by the way. She says that, I'm not the only one that wants these crystals. These crystals are all powerful. I'm not going to be the only one that wants these crystals. There will be more, just like me. Do you honestly expect that you can defend these crystals? And the Power Rangers, of course, they say yes, and they backhand Rita into space next to the moon, where in the TV show she was obviously awoken from. And it's interesting because I believe that Lord Zed will be the next villain, as well as the Green Ranger, because both of them kind of tie into Rita. Both of them are spawned because of Rita, and I think that maybe Rita will partner up with Lord Zed, or maybe Lord Zed will come to Earth because he knows now that the Zeo crystals are on Earth. But I think the most important question that you may ask me as a reviewer, as someone that has seen the movie, is the Dragon Zord in the movie? Is it just Goldar? I won't spoil that for you. This has been 24. Remember to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe for more. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you next time.